Hey guys, it is November 29th, 2017. The November Video Marathon 2017 rolls on. This is your host, Kyle, aka Vulcan Wolverine. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning where I'm at. And I spent some time this afternoon on some conference calls, and then I just came out to get some ice cream actually. And an energy drink. And I wanted to, on the drive home, see if I could get any vehicular stalking at 2 in the morning. I wanted to see if there were any lurkers about. I actually did have some updates, but I'm not remembering them at the time right now. We were talking on the conference call tonight, on the late night conference call. Well, Ella had a great guest first during the, I guess, prime time conference call. Really great guest named Kendra. Something she said was very, very interesting to me. She's been targeted for many, many years with remote neural monitoring and gang stalking, but not so much the heavy directed energy weapons in V2K. And she's gotten pretty proactive in the recent years, and she's going to write a book about it. She said something interesting because she had talked to a police officer, I guess, a couple of years ago, and the police officer said, this is this stuff that's going on with gang stalking, and I don't know if he knew about the directed energy weapon program. But he said definitely the gang stalking program, they were, after 9/11, they were getting, police officers and sheriffs and first responders ready by saying, hey, there's going to be a lot of people coming to y'all, a lot of crazy people who think we're surveilling them, and, there's going to be a lot of that happening. And they were getting these cops and first responders ready for this. They were, telling... they were telling neighborhood watches, there's going to be a lot more crazy people around because of what happened during 9/11. So we're going to have to watch them, So they were kind of telling both lies, and very, very mandated from the top, from the very, very upper echelons of our, I guess you would call it still a legitimate government, I guess. But it was like, she heard that from a policeman a couple of years ago. I found that very interesting. Let me clear my throat real quick. So right after 9/11, they were getting people ready and telling them, there's going to be a lot more crazy people. And they were also telling them there's going to be a lot of crazy people coming and telling you that, they're having problems with being surveilled or being attacked. So setting up the lies and also setting up just the whole system of gang stalking. And then on the later conference call, we were talking about, ground weapons and being remotely hit, like from cell phone towers and stuff like that. I watched the last Techno Crime Fighters Forum, and Romola D and Dr. Horton were talking about, their neighbors hitting them with ground weapons. And, I know that this does happen because in the house that burned down, I actually saw a ground weapon in the window of my attacker. He was ex-Army. What I think was happening is that, he was putting toxins around my place. He was breaking into my place. But he did go to work, and while he went to work, I was still getting hit by like remote 24-hour-a-day V2K and directed energy weapon systems hits to the body and remote neural manipulation. But I think that what happens, and I think this is with a lot of cases, is that they mix in ground weapons with the 24-hour-a-day remote hits to the body and the directed stream of energy to the head. I think once I moved out of that house, and I can only really speak to my situation, because I think they do it differently. There's different protocols for every contractor, and especially different contractors in different countries of how they do it. How much is ground weapons, how much they're shooting from cell phone towers routed through satellites, almost to like a cell phone. But I do know that after a certain number of years of being horribly, traumatically, tortured with ground weapons and 24-hour-a-day, directed energy weapon systems hits that were remote, they moved to completely remote, where really none of my neighbors were participating with ground weapons, but I was meant to think that. So I think we need to, keep dialoguing about, whether we think it's, people right above us or people by us or our neighbors, or whether we're getting remote hits, and everybody needs to kind of put that information so we can filter that information and see, how many situations is it happening like this, how many situations is it happening like that, because I listen to a lot of TIs on the calls, and there was an older lady who was like, yeah, I hear him moving around a magnetron up above me, and then she moved, and right when she moved, like the day she moved in, she was hearing the same thing moving above her. So that kind of makes me think, it's like V2K. They're making sounds to where it sounds like something's moving across the floor above her, but they're hitting her remotely, because it would take more than a day to get all that set up, especially if she was moving under under strangers who knew nothing about this program. It would take a while for them to convince those people to even put weapons in their place. That was just something we talked about. And so this is the second to last day of the 30 days of the November video marathon 2017. I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to be making in these next 2 days. Definitely 2 more. But I kind of wanted to kind of start the epilogue on this video. Kind of maybe get to some points that I wanted to make during the whole time. And now I know I haven't gotten to a lot of things. I haven't gone through my supplements and cleansing. I did actually get some dead sea salt from Walmart tonight. And I'm gonna mix that with my Epsom salt baths. I need to take a lot more of those, because what I've noticed is, I showed y'all that video of the chemtrails that day, and a couple of days later, about 3 days later, my headaches are just excruciating. Like inside of my head, it just hurts so bad, and they're nailing me in the head and the neck. So it's really important to cleanse, and I don't cleanse enough. I don't cleanse enough, and I really should be doing, an Epsom salt bath every other day, and then the other days I should be doing, borax mixed with palm olive, or borax mixed with, apple cider vinegar, or just vinegar, some kind of cleansing regimen like that. What I've been doing is I've been doing Epsom salt every other day, or as much as I can during the week. And then on days when I don't do the Epsom salt, or if I'm rinsing off the Epsom salt, I'll do, borax mixed with baking soda, mixed with the palm olive, with L-lactate. So that usually makes me feel a lot better. If I keep on that cleansing regimen, I do each of those things at least 3 times a week. I just feel better all around. It feels like the hits that they're doing to my head and with remote neural manipulation are dulled down. It's getting hot in the car. I gotta open my energy. I got like a small Red Bull, so it's not that bad. I'm not drinking a huge one. But I hope you guys are doing all right. A lot of the target individuals on the calls are very tired, and they're getting hit a lot harder at this time of the year. I know that we do get hit a lot harder during the holidays, a lot of us. But the way that I'm getting hit, they're really, really working on the remote neural manipulation and giving me like huge migraines by making the blood rush to my head, and also, you know, really messing with my emotions real bad, just giving me this sense of non-well-being. You know, so they're really going heavy on the remote neural manipulation. And then I've heard a lot of target individuals on the calls just saying it's like unbearable, the torture right now. And I'm hoping that means something. Like, I'm hoping that in the bigger picture, that means something like, you know, our attackers aren't quite sure what's coming up. You know, information is getting out about this, you know, exponentially, to where, you know, it's basically a household topic. You know, we've got Bill Binney, you know, as an advocate for us, and a lot of senators are looking into the Cuban embassy attack. So, and a lot more target individuals are speaking out, you know, on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I did want to talk about this. Like, we've had the two Vice documentaries that came out. And they've got, like, I think both of them have about 600,000 views, maybe more than that right now. The one that just got made about the United States target individuals and gang stalking has about like 700,000 views. The other one I think has about the same. So you know, a lot of people are looking into this, which is just a great news. And the Travel Channel, like this production company that works with the Travel Channel, is about to do another documentary on directed energy weapons, like target individuals who are getting hit with directed energy weapons, and target individuals who are getting the gang stalking. And they're going to be doing it in San Francisco. So another big documentary coming out. Things are coming out exponentially. So I'm hoping a lot of traction will be made on that, and the Travel Channel, you know, gets tons of viewers on it, and then hopefully, you know, somebody can post it to YouTube too, and it can get a lot of views on there also. Just a lot of things happening at the end of the year, and I hope it brings us into a new year where, you know, by some kind of miracle, you know, money gets pulled from this, or they just feel like, you know, there's too much heat on it all, so they start maybe backing off on some of us, and we get some positive changes to get our lives back. I'm really praying for that, and I know all y'all are too. And so all we can do from day to day is just survive, keep speaking out, keep speaking out, and keep speaking out. I guess that's another thing. It's another thing that I wanted to talk about. I know maybe that some target individuals, you know, you maybe don't want to do it like me. You maybe not. You don't want to. There's a fire department right there. That's definitely a gang stalking thing. And they changed the light, like right when I went up to it. It was a short light, lasts like a couple of seconds. I know that. And hold on one second, guys. No, I'll just not wait on that. I know that a lot of you guys maybe don't want to do it like me. Maybe you have a job that you don't want to lose, or you're just, you don't want to come out and say you're a targeted individual. You know, you can do this. You can do this another way. Like if you're a target individual and you really want to speak out, but you don't want to let people know you're a target individual, you know, maybe make a YouTube video or do some posts on Facebook and just say, you know, I heard about this phenomena of gang stalking and people being targeted by directed energy weapons, and I really believe these people, and I think that we should help them, you know. And so this is an idea for, and they changed this light on me right when I'm rolling up. And this is a light that gives tickets, so, I mean, I could get a $150 ticket for that, and some jerks on a remote platform are able to change the light, you know, because they've got access to the grid, and they're heating up my phone. But, you know, non-TIs and TIs that maybe you don't, you see how long it lasts like 5 seconds. Like a light doesn't last 5 seconds. So that's what happens when they do a light change on a target individual. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it'll change back. It's not a full light, it's not a full cycle. But if you are like a non-TI